Your dog is staring at you right now, or it was 20 minutes ago, or it will be tonight the second you sit down on the couch. And you probably did what most people do. You smiled at it, maybe said something, maybe grabbed a treat without even really thinking about it, which makes complete sense, because that is what we do. But here's the thing. That stare? Your dog is not doing it for one reason. It is actually doing it for four completely different reasons, and each one means something completely different about what is going on inside its head right now. One of them is honestly one of the most beautiful things I have ever learned about animals. One of them is your dog asking you for help. And one of them, and this is the one that gets me, most dog owners read it completely wrong. Every time. By the end of this video, the way you see your dog's eyes will never be the same. So, let me take you back to 2012, because this is where the whole story starts. A neuroscientist named Dr. Gregory Berns at Emory University decided to try something that nobody had ever actually done before. He trained dogs, awake, conscious, completely unrestrained, to sit still inside a real working MRI brain scanner. Just sit there while the machine ran. And the reason he did this was simple. He wanted to know what was actually happening inside a dog's brain. Not guessing, not observing behavior from the outside, actually reading the brain activity in real time. What he found was not what anyone expected. When a dog sees its owner's face, a part of the brain called the caudate nucleus lights up. And here is why that matters. The caudate nucleus is the exact same region of the brain that activates in humans when we feel love, reward, and deep emotional connection. Not a similar region. Not a region that does something vaguely related. The same one. And then it got even more interesting. When the dogs in the study were given a choice between their owner's scent and food, their brains responded more strongly to their owner. Not a little more, significantly more. The dog chose the person over the food. Think about that for a second. Now, at around the same time, Dr. Alexandra Horowitz at Columbia University, she is one of the world's foremost experts on how dogs actually think. She was working on something slightly different. She was trying to understand why dogs look at us the way they do. Like, where does that gaze even come from? And what she found, along with decades of research that came after, is that your dog's stare is not random. It is not just something animals do. It is something that one specific animal evolved to do over 15,000 years, specifically for us. Here is how you know that is true. Wolves. Wolves that were raised by humans from birth, that lived in human houses, that were treated like family their whole lives. They do not look at human faces the way your dog does. They just do not. That sustained, searching, deliberate gaze your dog gives you, wolves cannot do it. It does not exist in them the same way. Your dog developed that gaze for you, specifically, over thousands of years, and it turns out there are 4 distinct versions of it, 4 completely different things your dog is communicating when it stares. Let me walk you through all of them, starting with the one that genuinely moved me the first time I properly understood it. The first one is what researchers actually call the love stare, and I want you to really pay attention here because this one is happening in your home probably more than you realize, and most people just kind of miss it. You will know it when you see it. The eyes are soft, almost a little droopy at the corners. The body is completely relaxed, not leaning forward, not tense, just settled. The tail might be moving, but slowly, gently. Your dog is not asking you for anything in this moment. It is not alerting you to anything. It is simply looking at you. And here is what is actually happening when it does that. Its brain is releasing oxytocin, the bonding hormone, the same chemical that flows between a mother and her newborn when they look at each other for the first time. And this is the part that gets me every time, that release triggers the same chemistry in you. 2 different species, sharing one biological bonding moment. But it gets even more specific than that. In 2017, Dr. Julianne Kaminsky at the University of Portsmouth published research that I think about all the time. She found that dogs have a muscle above their inner eyebrow. It is called the levator anguli oculi medialis, if you want the full name, and this muscle does not exist in wolves. Dogs developed it independently, on their own. What does this muscle do? It lets your dog raise its inner eyebrow and create that expression, that soft, wide, slightly vulnerable look that makes your dog look like it is feeling something very deeply. And dogs use this muscle, Here is the part that will stay with you, specifically when a human is watching them, not when other dogs are around, not randomly, only when a human is looking. So every time your dog gives you those eyes, it is not an accident. It is not habit. It is 15,000 years of evolution running in real time. Your dog is actively, deliberately choosing to make itself look as loving as it possibly can, because it knows you are watching. And when you and your dog hold that gaze, and something happens that you cannot quite name, that has a name. Scientists call it a mutual oxytocin feedback loop, and it is genuinely one of the rarest things that happens between two living beings on this planet. The second stare, the request stare. You definitely know this one, even if you have never heard it called that before. The eyes are locked on you, but they are sharper than the love stare, more focused. The body is leaning forward a little. Maybe the tail is going faster. Your dog has decided it wants something, and it has decided that staring at you is the way to get it. And here is the thing about the request stare that Dr. Horowitz studied, because it is actually more sophisticated than it looks. Dogs doing the request stare do something very specific. They look at the thing they want, the lead, the ball, the food bowl. Then they look at you, then back at the thing, then back at you. She called it referential gaze shifting. And what it demonstrates is that your dog genuinely understands something about how you work. It knows that you have the ability to make things happen. It knows you have agency. And it is using that knowledge to communicate with you in a really deliberate way. That is not a simple animal doing a simple thing. That is a dog that has figured out how its human thinks and is using that. Now, the third stare is very different in its energy. The alert stare. You will feel this one before you fully see it. The whole body changes, goes rigid, ears pitch hard forward, tail goes flat or straight, eyes lock onto one specific point, a door, a window, sometimes what looks like nothing at all. When your dog does this, it is not being weird, it is not seeing ghosts, it has picked up on something real. Dogs hear frequencies 4 times beyond what we can perceive. Their sense of smell is at least 40 times more powerful than ours. When your dog stares at a wall, there is something on the other side of that wall that it can detect, and you cannot. But here is the part about the alert stare that I think is actually kind of beautiful. When your dog is doing it and then looks at you, it is including you. It is treating you as its partner. It is essentially asking, are you getting this too? It is sharing its world with you. So when your dog goes into an alert stare, look where it is looking. Acknowledge it, because that is how you tell your dog, yeah, I see it. We are in this together. The fourth stare is the one I really want you to hear, because this is the one that most people get wrong, and getting it wrong actually affects your dog's well-being. The anxiety stare. On the surface, it can look similar to the love stare. Same sustained eye contact, same focused attention. But when you look at the rest of the body, it is completely different. The posture is lower, slightly crouched, ears back rather than relaxed or forward, tail low and still, not loose, not wagging, just hanging. And the eyes, this is the key thing. The eyes are harder, more intense, more searching. There is something worried in them. This dog is not telling you it loves you. It is asking you, please do not go. Separation anxiety affects around 17% of dogs, and the anxiety stare is one of the earliest consistent signs that something is wrong. If your dog stares at you every time you pick up your keys or reach for your coat, if its whole body changes the moment you move toward the door, that is a stress response, real stress. Its cortisol is going up. Its heart rate is rising. It is not being dramatic or clingy. It is in genuine distress. And I want to be really clear about something here because I think this matters. You can help this right now, without a trainer, without medication, without anything complicated. Research shows that calm, deliberate eye contact from an owner, combined with getting down to the dog's level, reduces cortisol in anxious dogs within minutes. Just that. You look at your dog, calmly, softly, for a little longer than you normally would. You let your body be low and open, rather than towering and moving. That is it. Your eyes are genuinely one of the most powerful things you have in your relationship with your dog. Not commands, not treats. Your eyes. Because your dog has spent 15,000 years learning to read exactly what is in them. I want to tell you something about why your dog stares at you, because I do not think it is something we say out loud enough. It is not habit. It is not because it is bored. It is not because it wants something or it needs something in that particular moment. Your dog stares at you because you are the center of its world. Dr. Berns, after years of this research, after scanning hundreds of dog brains and reading the data, he wrote something I have never forgotten. He said the evidence suggests that dogs genuinely love their humans, not as a metaphor, not poetically, neurologically, measurably, biochemically. Love. Every time your dog walks into a room full of people and finds your face first. Every time it wakes up from sleep and the first thing it does is look for you. Every time it just sits beside you and stares, for no reason you can identify, not asking for anything, not alerting to anything, just looking at you. That is 15,000 years of history in a single moment. Because here is what I keep coming back to. All of this started with a wolf, a wild animal that had absolutely no reason to trust a human being. And at some point, nobody knows exactly when or exactly how, something changed. A wolf decided that a human was worth being near, worth watching, worth knowing. And every single dog that has ever lived has been carrying that decision forward, every day, in every home, in every quiet moment, when your dog finds you across a room and just looks at you. So the next time your dog stares at you, stop what you are doing. Look back. Hold it. Just for a few seconds longer than you normally would, because you are not just making eye contact with an animal. You are the reason a species changed. For you. So, which one does your dog do? Drop a heart in the comments if your dog gives you the love stare. Drop a dog emoji if yours is completely guilty of the request stare every single mealtime without fail. And if your dog watches you while you sleep, please tell me. Because that one genuinely gets me every time, and I want to hear about yours. I read every comment. Every single one. If this video changed the way you see your dog even a little bit, subscribe to Ruffix. Every Monday and Thursday we go deeper into the actual science of what your pets are feeling and thinking about you. Next video, why cats ignore you, and what the science says it actually means. I promise it is not what most people think. Join the pack.